Enfants Sauvages by François Truffaut, there is some similarities between the two films. Tell us about what were your inspirations.
Of course, I'm familiar with The Wild Child by Truffaut, and that was part of my research when thinking about this film. Another film by Truffaut that was very inspiring was The 400 Blows, and that inspired the ending of Feral. But what led me to the story in the first place was just all the true life accounts of feral and abandoned and abused children. And it actually started as the story of Caspar Hauser, a different case, that of course has been documented too in film. I was just fascinated with the duality in human beings between our instincts and our intellects. And in the case of feral children, that seems to be kind of a physical manifestation of that debate. Are we truly animals, or are we something else?
In 2007, you did The Windmill. Then in 2009, Drift, two very short films that you present as studies for Ferrari. Did you have the complete project in mind as soon as 2007?
Yes, I didn't know what kind of shape it was going to take. I knew what it was going to be about, but I didn't know if it was even going to be a narrative story yet, or if it was going to be more reflective, more kind of a study of wildness. So I didn't have a main character or a scenario yet. So those studies, those two short films, helped me to come up with the full language and also the full story of Feral.
You have a graphic activity outside making film, because your visual style is very, very strong, and it's very easy to recognize too. When we look at the Fable, and when I saw Feral for the first time, it was like 7 years after Fable, and at the very beginning of the film, I recognized your style. So, where does it come from? Is it something you do since a long time?
Well, I've been working in animation for a long time, and I do a lot of commercial animation. That's how I pay the bills. So I do TV commercials and TV shows in the United States, and that's kind of my main job. And I also teach animation. So the films are a kind of a hobby. It's kind of what I do with my own money. And,
the way you spend money.
Yeah. The idea of whether or not he is assimilated back into the society, or whether or not he fits in, was almost like a secondary notion, and it was almost just a necessary plot point, something to kind of get you interested in the film and move the story along. But what the film really talks about is that inner nature, which by itself, it's almost impossible to put on film. You need something else as opposed to yes. But there were a lot of different ideas that went into the making of it, and one of the challenges was to create a sort of hierarchy of which ideas were the driving ones and which were secondary or tertiary. And so it was a real challenge and puzzle to kind of piece everything together, and so that not everything had the same weight and became jumbled. So I had to kind of prioritize.
Merci. Thank you very much.